Just like Smelly's kitchen, Smelly's exercise, there's no rules. There's a little trot, hard to see. Going downhill, running forward, running sideways, backwards, like Muhammad Ali. Whatever way you gotta do it, have fun with it. Skip while you're going, woo! Bring the knees way up. Mix shit up while you're going. Why not enjoy it? And why not make it, throw in some different shit so you're not bored. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch y'all later. I'm about to run this hill right here. This hill probably proceeds onward, goes a little flat for a little bit, but probably goes on for about a mile or so. I'm just gonna estimate, and I'm gonna run from right here all the way to the tippy top. I'm not gonna film it because I wanna listen to some music while I'm going, keep me inspired. But I'm gonna go from right here, and I got a marker up there that I made it to in 6.5 minutes last time. I'm gonna see if I can beat that time. But beyond that, I'm gonna continue onward past that and run a lot further than I ever run before, pretty much in my life, and it's all uphill. I apologize for the wind. I don't know what to do to remedy it, but I'll look into, getting something that can help block out the annoying sound of the whistling wind going on here. Anyway, I'm gonna get after it. Killing this hill, or this hill might be killing me. Not sure. I'm making it. Bring that shit to me. Bring it. Come on, motherfucker. See what you're made out of. We're made out of something different, right? Let's get after it. Every day. No matter fucking what. If you go until the wheels fall off, no slowing down. No stopping work. Keep that momentum going. Keep sticking it to yourself every single day. Every day is an opportunity to get better. Don't ever forget that. 10:59 to the tippy top. I climbed. You could break my legs. You could break my arms. You could lock me down on quarantine, but you'll never lock up this mind beyond breaking. Anyway, I made it up that big ass hill. The wifey called, and I had to talk for a little bit. But anyway, I made it up that big ass hill in 10:59, and I broke my previous best running that other part of the hill in like 5.5 minutes or so. Felt really good. Super, super beautiful out here in Bodega Bay as always, but super windy. Anyway, I think we owe it to ourselves to get out every day and to get after it and to push with everything that we have. I feel so good every single day, and I'm not trying to rub it in other people's faces. I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm just sharing with you my experiences. I feel really good, and I hope, God, I look pale, don't I? But I'm tan, trust me. I'm tan. It's just I'm getting blown out by the sun here. Every single day is an opportunity to get better. Every single day is an opportunity to be better than you were yesterday. And that's all that my goal ever is, and that's all that I'm ever trying to share with you guys. Is I want you to be able to think for yourselves, and I want you to be able, not that you can't think for yourselves, but because there's a lot of people that certainly can, but I just worry sometimes that people are just taking advice from other people and then, or rather grabbing motivation from people and trying to run with it. Look at this. Wow. That's a house right there too. Look at that house. Beautiful. I think they're grabbing inspiration and motivation from a guy like David Goggins, and they're expecting that to be there every single day. Remember what I've said in the past. Have a low expectation life. Don't have expectations for things or people. Maybe you have a standard for yourself, but people have such a hard time, living in these seconds and these minutes. That's the time to live in, because what's in front of you, or what appears to be ahead of you, is not really there, because it hasn't happened yet. That's what anxiety is. Anxiety is fear over things that have never happened. And notice I said things that haven't happened yet. Big difference, because if I said if it's about things that haven't happened yet, that's implying that my thought process attached to the fact that it could happen. good to have your thought process attached to the fact that it can happen, but it's bad to have your thought process attached to thinking that it's going to happen. Right? We're all on page 43. Anyway, I'm going to continue enjoying this walk. I'm going to stay in this moment. I'm not thinking about what's coming up in the future. I'm thinking about right now. Checking out these waves. And I'm hoping I see a whale out here today. I saw one yesterday. Look at this. So many things to be grateful for. Look at this, man. The earth is still here, you know? Look at all these flowers and plants. And look at all this stuff. The earth is still here, everybody. Look at this. Nature's still here. It's still here. It's still right here. We still have opportunity to be with nature every day. Wow. It's just completely breathtaking. Unbelievable. Yesterday I saw a whale right about here, but I don't think it's a rock today. Kind of hard to tell. Anyway, just look at that. Man. It's like too good to be true. Long one today. Doing a lot of this. Doing my little shuffle slide, because when you're going downhill, it kind of hurts the knees, especially to try to run downhill. Even walking downhill is kind of uncomfortable. So for me, I do a little shuffle. And as I'm shuffling, every day I'm shuffling, I lean to this side a little bit, the side of the hill, and I go down like that. Maybe you can see my feet here. There we go. This toe is pointed this way a little bit, so I don't end up, you know, with my knee straight forward and letting some of my body disperse some of that energy. When I get to the regular part or downward part, I can start to run normal again. But I do this shuffle slide, basketball slide. And it could be like a sideways jog. I've learned it could be a sideways jog where you're picking up your feet, or it could just be a regular shuffle. So let me show you this weather over here. Show you how nice this is. It really is. Another hill right here to destroy. Not too big, but not too small. It actually goes around that corner and gets pretty good. I'm gonna shut this down again, get some music going. All right, too lazy to turn the light back on. About to watch a movie over here. Evil Genius, I think it's called. Documentary on Amazon. Amazon's better than Netflix, by the way. Prove me wrong. Anyway, I got some rice and I got some steak. Gonna eat this up. I didn't really get to finish up filming some of my run. I got too into it. I got too excited. Got too into the music and too into some of the different stuff I was listening to on YouTube. But I just wanted to share with you guys, you know, this idea of just every day figure out a way to put one foot in front of the other. I've been talking about it for a long time. Gratum feroster. Step by step, ferociously, consistently, constantly, never letting up. Always trying to put your best foot forward. Always trying to make the correct decision. Always trying to do the right thing. The wrong thing is to do nothing. You know, I think that you should always be doing something. That is, even when you're doing nothing, it should be like reprieve. It should be downtime. Even your downtime should be hard. Even your downtime, I don't mean it should be difficult. I mean, even your downtime should be done with intent. Everything that you do should have intent. The running that I'm doing, it's not, you know, just me just running around randomly.
I'm building up a skill. I'm building up a skill that I'm going to be able to lean into and lean on at another time. Just like when you read a book. Maybe just like when you don't read a book. Sometimes when people read a book, they gain the knowledge and then they do the most disgusting thing that you could ever do with any advancement, and that's to not do anything with it. So this running that I'm gaining, I'm not doing it to not do anything with it. I'm going to do something with it. I've always done the best that I possibly can with what I have. I've always tried as hard as I could I would say that I haven't given every single thing that I've ever tried 100%. I think that that's irrational and untrue for everyone. But I've done the best that I can with a lot of the things that I have, and I have made mistakes along the way as well. And there's definitely things that, looking back, I could have done things better. However, again, I've done the absolute best that I can with what I have. I have a learning disability that makes it extremely difficult to write. Reading comprehension is a nightmare. But I still do the best that I can with it. Guess what? I still write. I still read. I still read all your comments. I still read all your questions. I'm trying to read a book over there and it sucks. I'm not good at it, but I'm working on it. I'm working on everything that I can do to be better every single day. And maybe something that gets lost, in this pandemic and with what's going on and stuff like that is, I'm for the advancement of humanity. I want to see people continue to move forward. I want people to have the strength and the skill set to continue to move forward each and every single day and to do the absolute best job that they can. One thing that I'm starting to get very tired of is, this kind of, people are kind of turning against the country. And this is an amazing country. And yes, other countries have maybe handled the pandemic a little bit better. But also, there are countries that don't have the same freedoms as we do. And some people can argue that we don't have the same freedoms that we think we do. And I can understand the frustration on some of that. But I love America. I love where we live. I love these freedoms. And I love that, at least it feels this way to me. And maybe some of the positions that you're in, maybe you guys disagree, but I feel like we're in positions to seek out every single day new opportunities to make ourselves better. Because we don't live in a war-ridden town. We're not in a city or an area that has shit flowing through the streets, contaminated. Yes, our water is contaminated. Yes, but the planet is contaminated, right? You know what I mean. We have relatively good living conditions. Most of the people I know have a refrigerator full of food. And I'm not even talking about wealthy people. I'm just talking in general. They have a refrigerator full of food, a freezer full of food, and a pantry full of food. Like, life is fucking good. And even if you've lost your job, we've been hit hard by the economy, just as many of you have, and I feel for you as well. People close to me have lost their jobs, and it's, you feel the sting of it. It hurts. It's not an easy time to make sense of. However, usually these things are for the better. And if we can just stick to the facts, look, the facts are this, the facts, there's a pandemic. There's something going on, regardless of whether we disagree or agree with it or where we stand on it. There's a pandemic that's causing all these things. It's causing a quarantine. It's causing people to lose their jobs. Okay, those are the facts. Okay, I lost my job, And then now you have to think, okay, I got knocked down. Facts are there's a pandemic. It has absolutely nothing to do with my performance. I didn't get released because I suck. I got released because we have this situation. And what skill sets can I bring to the table for another company? Because there's other companies, and there's companies starting up. There's startups, there's GoFundeds, there's people that are working right now. And there's companies that have shut down that are going to start back up, because that's what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs know how to make money. And some of the restaurant owners and some of these, people that have had these businesses for a long time, guess what? They're going to figure out something else at some point, and they're going to start another business, and they're going to need employees. It might take a little bit of time, but let the sting and let the upsetness and let all this stuff, let things hurt the way they need to hurt, but let's stick to the facts. The facts are that it's very normal for people to be losing their jobs. The facts are it's very normal for things to just be fucking flat out different than they've ever been at this moment. And so why not just accept that fact and then recognize that you have a job to do as an American citizen, as a citizen of the United States, as somebody that has, like I personally, my grandfather was in the Navy, and he's a survivor of the Great Depression. He's not around anymore. We were just celebrating the other day and talking about, he would just say, hey, this pandemic, he would sum it up with one word. He'd say, bullshit. He would have been 100 years old, and he was a one-of-a-kind person, the kind of guy that if you were crying, he'd say, go see your grandmother. But at the same time, every time he saw you, he'd say, get over here and give me a kiss before I beat you. And he was a Golden Gloves boxer, and he'd rough you up if you didn't kiss him. He wanted a hug and a kiss every time he saw you. But men like that and people like that, they didn't hide underneath their beds when there was a situation going on that needed to be taken care of. They get up and they did their fucking job, and they did their work, and they went to work every single day. And I recognize that not all of us can necessarily go to work, but you have work to do every day, and that's to work on yourself. Don't ever forget it. The most important interview you will ever have is with yourself. The most important podcast you will ever have is the time that you sat down with yourself and asked yourself what you wanted. What do you want to do? What have you ever done? Who have you ever beat? Who have you ever beat is a question we used to ask ourselves in wrestling. It's kind of fun, kind of funny. You get my point, though? You get my drift? The greatest commodity you can ever work on, and the greatest investment you can ever make, is in yourself. It's in you. And you got to start doing it right now. And it starts with this. It starts with your meals. It starts with your food. I don't even really feel like eating this right now, to be honest with you. I feel like going to bed. This is part of the process. Sometimes I don't feel like eating. Sometimes I don't want to eat I don't always want to eat rice and steak, and I don't always want to eat all these different things. By the way, I'm on a different diet, if I didn't clue you in on that. I dropped 10 pounds. I posted about the diet the other day. It's the quarantine diet, where I talk about the war on carbs, and I'm eating a little bit of carbs, maybe about 100 a day. Today I probably had, probably about 100. But most days I actually I have maybe even 50, so it just kind of depends. I don't like to count. I just eat. I eat 2 or 3 times every day. I've been fasting as well. I cut back on the fat calories. I switched my steaks out for chicken most of the time. And I have steak about once a day. I eat a little bit of cheese. I eat a little bit of yogurt. I have some whey protein. Fruit's been a big part of it. An orange or 2 every day. An apple or 2 every day. It's been different. It's been fun. Yeah, I've been feeling really good. Been working on a lot of that running, as you guys saw earlier in the video. Anyway, work on yourself. Work on your fucking, as I was saying, work on your fucking self. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you all later.